Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session and calls number M327958-1. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Khadijah Winfield. And Ms. Winfield was previously sworn in, and Ms. Winfield initially entered a plea of no contest to the charge of criminal mischief, which is Class B misdemeanor. Now, Ms. Winfield, prior to the court going into recess, the court again asks you, how do you plead in this case? Now, how do you plead in this case? Not guilty, guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily. And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Now, Ms. Winfield previously acknowledged that her signatures and initials is on State's Exhibit number 1. And she acknowledged that her signature was on a discovery certification, and she previously acknowledged that her signature was on the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. She also acknowledged that prior to signing any, Ms. Gaines, put your mic on mute. Okay, Ms. Winfield previously acknowledged that her that prior to signing and initialing the previous mentioned documents, that her attorney went over those documents with her and that she read and understood everything in those documents. Mr. Wright Kimbler, who waived the record in this case, stated that Ms. Winfield was mentally competent to stand trial. Ms. Winfield acknowledged that she was satisfied with the representation of Mr. Wright Kimbler and that he provided fully effective and competent legal representation. Now, State, would you please repeat the offer?
Yes, Your Honor. State agreed to offer in exchange for plea of no contest, 6 months deferred adjudication, community supervision, a $500 fine, court costs, 40 hours community-based service, restitution of $120 payable to Tamika Charles, and standard terms and conditions.
And then I'll add further that
It was there was an exchange for a dismissal in the felony court on a retaliation case,
right.
plea to this court.
Okay. Now, Ms. Winfield, State is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the probationary period, you agree with?
Your Honor, if I interrupt, could the court admonish her that that's the type of probation?
That comes at the end of the process.
I wanted to make sure she understands
Okay.
she's not out of conviction.
Wow. Okay, so Ms. Winfield, State is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During this 6 month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $337, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $837. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And you'll also be required to pay restitution in the amount of $120. Now, the total amount that you'll be required to pay in monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month, is $281. Will you be able, $281? Will you be able to pay the $281 each month?
Yeah.
And remember, you get to take the drug patch off.
Okay,
Not pay
so-
for that.
You don't know.
Okay, just hold on a minute.
That's money you can apply with the two.
Okay, so you'll be required to pay $281 each month. You also be required to perform 40 hours of community service.
I can do that. I was wrong.
Well, okay, you'll discuss that with your probation officer, okay? Okay, now, Ms. Winfield, okay. I'm gonna ask you this again. Now, you will still want to go forward with this plea bargain agreement?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ms. Winfield, total amount that you'll be required to pay is each month is $281 a month. You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. And you'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you accept the state's offer? Okay, now, Ms. Winfield, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Ms. Winfield, the court is going to defer a finding of guilt, so you're not being found guilty today. And that'll be put off if you successfully complete the probationary period. You will not be found guilty, and it will not result in a conviction on your record, okay? Okay, so you need to,
Would the court consider reducing her probation fees?
well, she said she can pay it.
Well, she may be being optimistic about that since it's a 6-month probation.
That's why I asked her the question. I can't read her mind.
Are you gonna be able to pay $281 a month?
Yes.
You will? Okay, that's what she said. So you're gonna stand in front of our court clerk. Once you finish it with the clerk, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session with 2 cases, cause number M3233728 and cause number M324002. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Mona Ronell Hogan. Ms. Hogan, is that your full name? How you doing, Ms. Hogan? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Hogan, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Thomas Burbank, who is appearing via Zoom. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. Thank you.
And Mr. Burbank, what is your announcement in Ms. Hogan's cases?
We have an agreement, Judge. Is some points that we need to hammer out. It's 2 DWIs. Ms. Hogan, when it first started, I know it's a 2019 case, both of them are, is that based on those arrests, one is that she went into an inpatient treatment, and number 2, which she successfully completed, and number 2, also mental health treatment. And it looks like she has gotten that under control and has successfully completed all the programs. So we just need a reset for a plea docket, Judge, so that we can take care of it all at the same time.
Hold on a minute. We got some? Is it a, now, does she have an interlock requirement on her bond?
She's
condition?
not driving. She's not driving, Judge.
Okay, but
She does. Yeah, you did order it, but she is
Okay.
she is not. She does not have a vehicle.
Okay, so just to reiterate, any vehicle that you own or operate, you're required to have an interlock device on it. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
okay, so give us a reset date, and so before we do that, Ms. Hogan, the court like to commend you for taking care of your issues that you have with alcohol. And by you completing the programs that your attorney just mentioned, shows that you have took the initiative to stay sober. And the court would like to commend you on that. And the court would also like to encourage you to continue on this path of sobriety. We know that the road to recovery is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so if you know anything, the difference between a sprint and a marathon, a sprint is a short race, marathon is a long race, you will get tired along the way. But if you get tired along the way, there are some people that you can lean on, the people that helping you with your recovery, family members, and those individuals who are participating in your recovery. Those are the people that you can lean on. And so we like to, if you ever get tired along the way, lean on those people and continue on your path. And again, the court commends you. And at this time, your cases are going to be reset to May 1st of 2023. Mr. Burbank, your recess will be sent to you in the mail.
Thank you.
It will be sent to you, and you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Ms. Hogan,
You too, Judge.
thank you. Ms. Hogan, you can get your resets here in court. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go as well. And you have a blessed day. You're welcome. You can, okay. Mr. Gabriel Nealon,